Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jam Bets NFL Week 9 Thursday Night Football. We have Baltimore Ravens coming off the short week going right into Miami to play the Dolphins. So I am Tike, joined as always by the marvelous Momma Mia. We're going to go over just a couple things for you guys today. We're going to give you our recap of our Sunday things that we were watching for. Players that we thought were going to underperform. And then we're going to dive right into tonight's Thursday night AFC conference game. So, Mamma Mia, you want to go ahead and kick us off with your recap?
Thanks, Tyke. Yes, I will. I had picked the Houston Texans wide receiver Jalen Knoll to overperform. He was projected for 9.98 fantasy points, and he actually came up with 11.3. So I'll call that an overperformance. He caught 5 of 6 for 63 yards. He's playing really well. But the fellow who we really should have been looking at was that Xavier Hutchinson. He's sneaky good. Yeah, he had a touchdown. He played really well. So it looked like Houston kind of got their act together, and but that Xavier Hutchins kid, he had 5 of 6 for 69 yards, 1 touchdown. And Houston won. I was shocked by that, 26-15, which wasn't really what I expected. So that was my first pick. He didn't get a touchdown. I was predicting him for a touchdown. I think I should have picked Xavier over Jalen, but he's an exciting young player. My second pick went to the Atlanta game, Atlanta and Miami. Miami came into Atlanta and smoked them 34-10. My ravings and confidence in an old man named Kirk Cousins didn't come even close. He was projected for 17.3 fantasy points, and I was like all over this saying, he's got this in the bag. He's been ready all year. I don't know what happened. He's not ready, and he will probably never get another big contract after playing like that. He actually scored 7.12 fantasy points. He connected on 21 of 31 passes for 173 yards, no touchdowns. He rushed twice for 2 yards and no interceptions. It just seemed that Miami was having their way. Tua threw 4 touchdowns. It was and they bottled up Bijan pretty good. He didn't have much of a game at all there. He had 9 carries at 25 yards. So Miami's defense, I don't know, must have been maybe a trap game for the Falcons, but I got to say those Falcons are very, very unstable and unpredictable. When I think they're going to win, they lose. When I think they're going to lose, they win. I can't figure them out, and I don't know. Like, they're just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You don't know who's going to show up there. So Penix probably is going to get his job back quite easily, and I'm not sure what I was thinking there, but I was drinking the Kool-Aid on Kirk Cousins, and I will stop drinking that Kool-Aid. How did you do on the Sunday Monday's game, Tyke?
I did same as you. Went 1 for 1. Picked 2 players both to overperform. First player I picked to overperform was Stephon Diggs. I thought he was going to get some more volume. New England didn't need to throw the ball to him very often. Diggs only ended with 3 receptions for 14 yards. He did have a touchdown, so it was close. He was projected 11 fantasy points. He did get 10, but he did underperform. And then the second player I picked Cade Otton. K. Dotton did overperform, just barely. K. Dotton ended with 4 receptions and 40 total yards for 8 fantasy points. So 50-50 split on the Sunday. But let's jump right into week 9. Season is officially half over. Sad day. Crazy that the season is flying by. But Mamma Mia, what are you looking for this Thursday night AFC matchup?
It's Thursday night. Anything can happen. We have figured that out, and it's the eve of Halloween. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Who knows what's going to happen in this game? I don't know. So here's what I'm thinking. And I just, every Thursday night, I'm biting my nails. I don't think it matters who the quarterback is going to be for the Baltimore Ravens. They are just going to run, Derek, run. Run, Derek, run. Last week in Chicago, he had 19 fantasy points. 16.1 was projected. He had 2 touchdowns. He was just doing whatever he wanted. But the player I want to talk about for this week is Mark Andrews. He's projected for 9.1 fantasy points, 4 out of 5 for 36 yards. I think he's going to pass that. The Dolphins have allowed the 6th most receiving yards to tight ends so far this year. And I think if Lamar is the quarterback, he'll definitely be over that mark. I think he'll be somewhere between 11 and 15 fantasy points. Last week, he caught all 3 of his passes for 36 yards. But the touchdown went to some tight end on National Tight End Day to a guy named Charlie Kohler. Never heard of him. I never heard of him. He had 1 catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. So you never know what's going to happen on the eve of Halloween. Just saying, so buckle up and get your popcorn ready. I do expect this to be a better game than what Miami has looked like, except for this outlier against Atlanta. I don't know what to make of that. So, Tike, what do you got going for this game?
So I'm looking at one player specifically. I'm looking at Jalen Waddle to overperform. Waddle is projected 10.7 fantasy points. He's only projected 63 receiving yards. And then it looks like just a couple of receptions there as well. I think he's going to go over that line. Since Tyreek Hill has left the Dolphins with the injury, Waddle has had 95 plus yards and 5 receptions in 3 out of those 4 games. Baltimore also a little bit of repeat because the Ravens just played the Bears. But the Ravens play man defense at nearly 40% of all defensive plays, which I think that bodes well for Waddle. Waddle against man coverage, he averages a 29% target share when he's running routes. And he's also averaging 1.89 yards per route ran. On top of that, Baltimore, they've been pretty susceptible to the passing game. Baltimore is allowing the 5th most amount of yards per game to wide receivers lined up in the outside alignment, which is where Waddle plays. Baltimore's giving up 117.9 receiving yards per game to outside aligned wide receivers. So I'm taking Jalen Waddle to overperform. We'll talk on it a little bit here, but the Miami Dolphins are a more than a touchdown underdog. So I think they're going to have to be throwing the ball against a team that's weak against the pass. I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for Waddle from a fantasy perspective. And I think he's going to exceed his line. All right, Mamma Mia, what else are you looking at?
Okay, so I agree with just about everything you said, that they're going to be throwing the ball. My player that I'm picking from Miami is Devon Achane. He's projected for 21.7 fantasy points. That's 15 carries, 76 yards, no touchdowns. six receptions for 44 yards. He's only exceeded 20 fantasy points twice this year. Week 2 versus New England, he had 26 points. Week 6 versus Los Angeles Chargers, he had 34 points, 2 touchdowns in that game. I don't see it. Last week versus Atlanta, he had 19. I think the Baltimore defense is healthy and clicking on all cylinders. And this is a very desperate team. Now they're 2-5. Last week they were 1-5. So they're just gonna start ticking up, and they're gonna just be knocking people to the ground as hard as they can. Last week they held the Bears to 23 carries for 96 yards and one rushing touchdown. I think, like you said, Tua is going to have to be throwing the ball, especially if Lamar plays. I think if Lamar plays, they're going to want to get on the board right away. And Baltimore is going to take an early lead. And then, like I said, let Henry run, let him go. And then the Dolphins will have to be playing catch up. And the last 3 weeks, the Ravens have allowed running backs 36 rushes for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. 4 passes for 63 yards, no touchdowns. They're top 14 of stopping running backs, either in rushing and receiving. So I do think that the Ravens defense is going to be primed for this game. I think they do have a new coordinator, but I think they're starting to mesh. And I think John Harbaugh, took all the games away, and there's no more ping pong and all that kind of stuff. So everyone's really serious, and this team is got to put their foot on the pedal hard. And I just don't think there's enough firepower in Miami to overcome them. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my second player. I think he's going to underperform for sure. I think they'll key on him, right? Just shut him down and then eat the clock, right? So just eat the clock, and now they got to throw the ball. So there you go. Recipe for success, if anyone's listening. The Bears could have tried some of that. Never mind.
Yeah, I think HN 41 fantasy points is
21.
21 is 21 is gonna be hard to come by. So going into the game, the Ravens are a 7.5 point favorite. Miami 7.5 point underdog. Very high total for a Thursday night game as well at 50.5. I do think it's hilarious. You said no, Harbaugh took all the games away. He literally did. He took the foosball and ping pong table out of the locker rooms. So I don't know what they were doing to piss him off so much that he had to take the games away in the locker rooms. They must have been, I don't know. But seems to have been working. They just put a shellacking on the Bears. I'm curious if they do lose to Miami, what does he take away next? Does he give them some scratchy, crappy towels when they're done with their showers? Like would he just keep punishing them for losing? But the Ravens are a scary team. I think they are a very good team on paper. They are well coached. And their backs are against the wall. They're a wild animal that is probably a little cornered right now. So I think they are going to put a little bit of a shellacking on Miami. I'm going to take the Ravens to cover the 7.5 points against Miami. How about you, Mama? What are you looking at?
Well, I think the Ravens win. And I think they win 30-24, which means it'll be over the 51.5 points. But that also means that Miami is going to cover the 7.5 points. Miami has covered 3 of their last 5 games. So I think they're going to put a pretty good showing out here. I think it's going to be a good game. I do. And Thursday night, who knows? My God. I mean, they're just crazy games. They've all been really crazy games. So We'll see. We'll see if anything normal happens.
What did you say this final score was going to be?
Ravens win 30-24. So that's a 6-point.
30-24.
So Miami
okay.
covers the 7.5. But
Miami.
the Ravens do win, and it's over the 51.5. That's what I'm saying. What do I know?
I like it. All right. Well, we'll watch the game. Good luck to everyone watching it. Good luck in fantasy. Please drop us a like, subscribe, put a comment in there. If you got any fantasy questions or football questions in general, please don't hesitate to drop a comment in the bottom here. And we will see everyone on Sunday.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.